That story, 30 seconds?
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Whoa.
Okay, 20 seconds.
My name is Zahira. I am 52 years old and I've been a Muslim for 20 years. I am British, been in England since year zero for myself. My mum and dad weren't practicing Christianity at all, didn't even call themselves Christians, didn't go to church, didn't do anything. I took myself to church for the choir. I liked singing, so I went to choir and went there for about 3 or 4 years, 2 different churches, but didn't really believe, I'd say. You used to wear the cassock and the little frilly thing and all that type of thing, and I used to sing. That's what I like to do. But I didn't really believe in God at that point, I'll be honest. From 1994, I started to bike ride from St James to Brackmills in Northampton, which is about a 5-mile bike ride, there and back. And I started to take notice of creation, the sky, the birds. I love birds. The birds, the grass, just even through the elements, because I went through spring, summer, winter, all of them. And I saw the snow, I cycled in snow. But anyway, it was the creation that I fell in love with, I'd be honest. And I started to understand that there must be a creator, that there must be a God who made all of this, because it was just too beautiful to take in. After about 2 years, that went on for about 2 years, and I started to think that there must be some rules and regulations, something different, because I was still drinking alcohol at that point. I was actually smoking at that point. I was doing everything that a non-Muslim would do, but I realised that I needed some goals. I needed something to give me some rules, which I didn't have. I was still able to do what I wanted to do. So I started to look at faith, I started to look at religion. And I went everywhere that talked about God. I went to sit with Mormons who told me I couldn't drink Coke or drink coffee, which I wasn't drinking a lot of, but to tell me not to do those things, it was quite hard. I sat with Christians who I'd heard before. Christianity was something I'd heard before. It's what I'd grown up with. I sat with I went to Jehovah's Witness meetings where I felt very strange. I felt very unaccepted. I don't know why. I just felt it wasn't the place for me. I read a lot of books. The Jehovah's Witness gave me a book called Search, and I've still got it. And it's got every faith, even faiths I've never even heard of, in that book. And I read the whole book. When I came to Islam, I stopped, and the penny dropped. It was just like it opened a clear window for me. It was nothing confusing to me about Islam. It was one God, and everything else, everybody else was his creation. And that's what I'd been looking for all my life. Something that was going to give me purpose. That was it, really. I started to talk to Muslims. I spoke to a couple in London who I actually took my Shahada with. They gave me more books, more tapes. I started to listen, I started to read. And I listened to a tape by Sheikh Khalid Yasin called The Purpose of Life. I was in tears when I listened to it. I was actually travelling at the time. I used to do a lot of travelling, go on coaches and put my headphones on and things like that. I came home that day and I rang the people up that gave me this tape, and I wanted to take my Shahada there and then. I took my Shahada, I cried like a baby. It was as if I'd gone home for the first time in my life. It was unbelievable, the feeling I had. I can't explain that feeling, but it was just a feeling that I knew that I was with God for the first time in my life, and I was 32. Islam has given me peace in my heart, because my life has not been easy, I'll be honest. I've had a lot of ups and downs in my life. And Islam is my ultimate peace. Even before I came in this room, I was thinking about God and asking him to be with me with this, and to and I never had that before. I wasn't brought up with the peace of God. I wasn't brought up with that. I was brought up with drinking and partying and Christmas and Easter and all these things that really didn't give me any depth. There was no depth in it. But now I know God, and I know that God hopefully loves me and still have a feeling, it's just me, so it's just me because of my life, that I feel as though God, he's there, but I have to work hard for his love. I have to work hard. But I'm devout, 100% devout to him, and I hope that, he's happy with me. After accepting Islam, I developed patience. I used to be so impatient. I like things done now. When I became a Muslim, I read a lot about how patience was such an important part of your characteristics, and I developed it. I've got 5 children, and I'm a single mother, so I had to develop patience. It was something I needed to develop, and I couldn't have done it without God. I could not have done it without God, because every day I've said and still say, please help me to become a good mother, help me to be a good mother, help me to be a good Muslim, help me to be a good person, help me to be a good friend, help me to be a good sister, help me to be a good chair of the group, help me to be everything that I need to be, help me to be the best I can be in this life. And he helps me. Not saying I'm the best, because I never will be. I never put myself on top of any pedestal, but I strive, and I know he helps me to strive. Regardless of whatever's going on in your lives, regardless of who you think you're going to upset, or who's not going to want to be with you anymore and reject you, God will never reject you. He'll always be there. And that's what gives you the peace. So if you're thinking about it, please research some more. Take small steps towards God. Open your heart and ask him to guide you. And go. Go. You'll never look back. Not in 20 years, I've never, ever thought I'd made the wrong mistake, the wrong decision. And that is the only thing in life that is worth being alive for. Peace be with you.